Now let's see if it works. I think I might have it this time. Sorry about that. Now I know it's working. Now I know it's working. I had to shut the whole thing down. Calm. Everything fine? Have you all gone now? I do apologise, but listen, that's why we start early, isn't it? There you go. Now I know that it's working. See, because you know when you do something every single day, now you can see me, can't you? Before, I knew you couldn't. So, happy days. I think we're there. Jim, get out of the picture now. I've done it. Don't fiddle with the knobs now, please. Do not fiddle with the knobs now, Jim. Go. I can see him trying to do it remotely. I've done it. Okay, good. Jim, get out of the... I can see what he's trying to do. Stop it. Okay. Are we there? Yeah? Good. All right. Welcome to the SHAC. Come on in. Grab a seat. Let's have a sip of tea. Stop shaking. It's all fine, isn't it? I knew you'd wait for me. It'll be fine. I'll get Jim to delete all that other stuff. Mark 2. Welcome to the SHAC. Good morning. Come on in. Grab a seat. Jim, I really need you to get out of that computer for me because you're freaking me out. It's all sorted. And I can't, I'm on live TV now, so go. Okay. So, how is everybody? How is everybody? Are you good? I am hoping you are. And today we're going to finish that lovely parakeet picture, you know. Could you just tell me, please, Stuart, I know you're in the building today, please could you tell me whether the sound is okay, and then we can crack on. That would be brilliant. Just give me a couple of little minutes. I can see that there's something still fiddling. No, it's all right now, he's gone. Okay. Right, so what we've done so far this week, we've been working on the little postcards, haven't we? Right, come on, let's calm down. You know when you're going at about 500 miles an hour and then you've got to pretend that everything's all right and your legs are still going like that? Okay, good. Jim, get out of the picture. I don't need you in here anymore. And it's fine, thank you, but I'm sorted. And it's very distracting if you've got somebody and all the numbers and the pictures are whizzing around when you're used to just running it on your own. Okay, so everybody there? Everybody happy? Sound all right? That's all I need to know, and then we can go. Cool. And breathe. Right, come on then, let's have a stretch, let's get going. Park that. I woke up anxious this morning. I did. I woke up anxious this morning and I thought, is it just me? Is it just me? I don't know. I think I may have always been like this, but it's just more prevalent nowadays. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe that's what it is. I feel anxiety more keenly now. Is it because we're getting older? I don't know. Is it because we're in the middle of a pandemic? Could have something to do with it. I don't know. I do know 2 tricks. One of them is to make a list of things that I'm going to do today. I make 2 lists. One, I make a list of what I'm going to do today, and then my mind doesn't race. Oh, I've got to do this and I've got to do that and I've got to do the other. So today I've got to tidy this room up because it's a mess again. I've got to prep for Monday because we're going somewhere really cool Monday. And I've got to make a shepherd's pie for Mum and Dad when it cools down in the kitchen. There you go. And as soon as I'd written those 3 things down, it was like, calm. Yeah. And then the other thing that I do is I write a gratitude list. And that kind of gets me down off the edge as well. Things to be grateful for. I'm really grateful that I got this thing going today. I'm really grateful for you. I'm grateful for my mum and dad. I'm grateful for Dave. I'm grateful for the house. I'm grateful for the kids. There's so many things to be grateful for. I'm grateful that the business is still going. You know, and then once you get that gratitude list going, you see already I feel better. I feel better. I feel 1,000% better already, if there's such a thing. So now we can start our art. We can start our art. I had to kind of get the palpitations calmed down before I could start drawing parrots. Okay, good. Let's have a look and see where we're at. So this is where we got so far. This is where I got so far. How about you? See, the blue is nice, and I decided not to make the blue too dark because we've done lots of dark backgrounds. Let me come in a little bit closer. Let me come in a little bit closer. Here we are. Right, and now we can see more what we're doing. So I thought the first thing we needed to do is have a look at the eyes. Do you remember when we did the owls last time? The first thing we went to was the eyes. And this time I thought, because their eyes are so tiny and they're so insignificant looking, we've kind of completely neglected them. But actually, they're not insignificant. And I want to show you, if I take, oh, boy eraser. Right, what I want to show you is, let's take, remember our pencils? I want to take a hard pencil. I'm going to take the 2H. This is the hardest one in the tin, 2H. It's a really hard pencil, lead, and what that means is that when you're making a dot, you can make a really precise dot. Do you see? Whereas if you were to take, let's take a grey pencil, you could take a Faber-Castell grey pencil, you're never going to, it's going to be quite hard. Doesn't matter how sharp it is, they're soft. So let's take a hard pencil and we can create quite a little bit of character, you know, now. So for example, if you, let's have a look at these right up close. There you are. So you see all the eyes, they look like zombies. But then there's that one little fella, he's right switched on, you see? And I made his eye, where I darkened it, if you can see, he's looking at her. Because she's shuffling along up the branch towards him. And he's like, oi, oi. Okay? So what we're going to do is just have a little practice. And if you want to make her look at him, then you just have to put the dot on that side. It's quite funny. If you put the dot in the middle, they look really spacey. Look, hang on a minute. There. So now, I know this is really tiny and you might think this is... See that they're looking at each other now. And now, let's have a look at, hang on, this one. And let's make this one look at that one. Let's do that. So just figure out where the dot goes. But with a hard pencil, it's really easy. Sorry, it's blurry. There, you see? And then we'll get that darker one. Where is it? This one at this, no, where are we? This one here at this end. We'll make this one look down. This one's looking down because something's coming up the tree. Right, so let's just have a little training session on where we're putting the pupils. Oh yeah, aha. Sorry about the blur. Right, so you can see, you get what we're doing. You can create quite a lot of personality just with a pupil like that. Yeah? Good. So what we're going to do now, I'm going to go all through my birds and I'm going to decide where they're looking, whether they're loved up, whether they're looking down, coy. You see? Let's just put the pupils in with a hard pencil. Shall we do that first? Let me put my Dame Edna's on, that will help me. How is everybody? So I'm calming down now. It always takes a little bit longer, doesn't it? Always takes a little bit longer than you think. There we are. Be lovely when it's done. I thought today, making a plan, I thought we'd sort out the eyes, sort the beaks out, maybe the claws, and then we'll do a little bit of shading, you know? I think we're pretty much done with the watercolour in now, aren't we? I've done as much as I want to do. If you keep going and keep going, what will happen is, I think, although this paper, this cards is really good on these postcards, but I think now if I want to add any depth, I'm going to use dry pencils. Nobody told me I couldn't. Did anyone tell you couldn't? That's the thing, you see. If you didn't read the rule book, maybe it's sacrilege to go dry over wet. Who knows? What I do know is this is bone dry, and I can go over this with the B pencils now, the blending pencils. I can go over it with the A pencils. I can go over it with the polychromos. I can go over it with the leads. I can go over it with what I like. And actually, it's a really good idea to mix up, I think. It strikes me as a good idea. It's probably an old technique, and everybody does it, but I didn't know that. Right, so what we're going to do now is just pop the pupils in. Get my head out of the way, sorry about that. Let's just whistle along here. Right, she's looking at her. Ah, look, they're loved up. Ah, look. Will you marry me? Oh, actually, she looks cross-eyed now. There you go. Right, and these two. Oh, look, he's going in for a kiss on the pecker. There we go. They're definitely looking, he's looking up. Yeah, there you go. He's looking up and she's looking down. Bit of an awkward moment. There you go. Up and down. This helps. And this one's looking over at, oh, what's going on over there? He's looking that way. Right, it doesn't take long to do this one's looking inward. Just for the hell of it, put one with a dot right in the middle. I tell you what, it looks really funny. It looks really spooky. This one's looking at that one. That one's looking at that one. That's it. They're fine. So it doesn't take long, but with a hard pencil, it's very, very easy, isn't it? Whereas with a soft pencil, not so easy. Looking up. Next week's going to be great. As soon as we're done here, I'm going to go into my little Wendy house at the end of the garden for an hour, and I'm going to figure out what we're doing next week. Right, I've done all my eyes because I know where we're going. I just haven't figured out what we're doing. Right, everybody okay? There we go. There we are. Right, so now we've done the eyes. I've got all these pencils now to play with, and I'll keep my rubber at the handy. Let's at the ready. Let's have a look. I'm going to use my rubber. I'm going to use some of my grey polychromos. You know those ones that we got the set of 12 for all you pergoliner people that we needed that they don't do grey. Let's use the lighter greys in that set. So I'm going to use those two. I don't want to go too dark because this is an exercise in trying to keep a piece of art still quite gentle. So you can see I've already highlighted. This is the only one, that one and a little bit of this one, just to see what I wanted to do, you see. But what we're going to do in a minute, we're going to colour in all the beaks. That'll take us 2 minutes. And then what I thought is we'd start creating a little bit of light and shade. And those grey pencils are going to be our best friends for that job. And then I thought, because I thought, well, actually, their beaks are all different colours. But because I want it to be light, I'm just going to use a pink pencil. I've just used a watercolour pencil. And I'm just going to come in here and just colour in their beaks pink. That's it. That's all I want to do. Just colour the beaks in pink, and there'll be pink. You've got pink pencils in all your sets, whether it's a watercolour or just go through and check them all. That's it. Oh, don't press too hard. Don't press so hard, Grey. Right, that'll do. I need to sharpen that one now. Right, top tip, don't press too hard. Okay. Right. Do you know what I'm really glad about? You know, like we always start at 5:02. Well, I do. I'm always here at 5:02. Well, I'm here at, no, I'm not. I'm here at 8 in the morning fiddling around. But we always go live at 5:02 because you never know, like what happened today. And today it happened. And we're in week 17. And today, that's 17 weeks. And that was the first time I understood why we come to the party early. You know what I mean? So it's funny how you do something, because often I've asked myself, why do I start at 5:02? You know, I remember I started at 5:10 in the early days, just in case it went wrong. Never went wrong till today. I see. That's why we go early. That's why we go to the bus stop early, isn't it? We go to the bus stop early just in case the bus driver gets there early or something goes wrong. So I'm quite happy with myself now, quite pleased with myself that I worked that one out. Right, so, and also, I didn't have a conniption either. I'm all right, it's okay, it's fine. So now we've done all the beaks, and what we want to do next is, let's have a think, the feet. The claws. The claws. I'm going to go with grey. Yeah? You could go with brown. You can go with grey. I'm going to keep it a little bit tone in tone. And because my hands are so sweaty, is it as warm where you are as it is where I am? It's very warm in here above the garage. Right, a little bit of grey for the feet, I think. That'll work. I'm just using this won't take long, look. Right, so we'll get that. And then I don't think there'll be much white. It's funny as you go along, I think, oh, I missed that branch. Right, so I've got the feet sorted. Everybody happy? Everybody doing this thing? There we go. In we go. Right, so I've done all the feet. That works. Good. Eyes sorted, beak sorted, feet sorted. Yeah. Right, and then what we want to do now is start making the birds come to the front and pushing the leaves to the back. I think that's a good starting place. So for example, let's take your lightest grey. I don't know how dark your art is. I don't know how dark your picture is, how dark you made your sky. Mine's quite delicate and I want to stick with that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go with my lightest grey. Say yours is a little bit darker, then take the next shade down. Yeah. And what we'll do now is, and you'll see, for example, if we just look up close at this one, let's look at what we're doing, what we're trying to achieve. And what you'll see here is that I've behind, just simply where the branch goes behind this bird, I've just put a little bit of grey in there. So I'll do the same, always where the branch is behind the bird. That's the first thing that's really easy to do. And we could sweep along and do a bird at a time, or we can do it, you know, one thing at a time. I'm going to suggest that we start with a bird and then work our way around. So for example, with this bird, you'll see on this one that I've already worked on, I added a little bit of depth on the wing and on the head. Look at the two. This one's a lot more brighter. So I'm going to show you a little trick around the eye to give the eye a little bit more depth, and the wing. So we'll bring out each bird and then we'll start bringing them to the front. We'll make them pop a bit. Yeah? Because you don't have to make the background dark to make the foreground jump. You just have to make the little bit right next to the bird a little bit darker to make it pop. You don't have to put a night sky in. So what we want to do now is take our grey, for example, and just add a little flash of depth there, let's say. And if you look at the leaf, obviously the bird is in front of the leaf as well. So let's get the bird in front of the background and then sort the bird out. That's my suggestion. So now, for example, if this bird is in front of this leaf, take your light grey. I'm just using the polychromo because that's the only one I've got. And then I'm just going to, where the bird is in front of the leaf, where the tail feather is in front of the leaf, you see here, I'm just going to add a bit of depth there and a bit of depth there. And then on this side, same again, just with a light colour. I can always get a bit darker in a minute. Right, so that's definitely darker behind. Now what I want to do though is, because I don't want to make the leaves, or suddenly they're all a beautiful green, and then we're going to make them really... So what you can do, you see, you can take your dry pencil and you can just add a flash of colour into the area that's showing. Not too much, but you'll see that it's highlights and lowlights. That's what we're doing. So we've used the lighter pencil now, just to get a little flash. And now let me go to the dark one. And this time, the darker of the two. So I used cold grey 2 first, and now I bet this is cold grey 3. Yeah, cold grey 3. So now I'll take the slightly darker colour. Where am I? Ah, yeah. And now I'm going to come in right on the edge of this. There. Right on the edge. So I'm bringing my pencil up, and I'm going to come in like so. See? And I'll turn it round, and I'll do the same side. There, just a tiny little bit. It's the overall effect that you're going to get. Now, inside, underneath where the bird is, see it's red here. So if yours is all pink and you want to add a little bit of depth, you can take the pencil that you used to create the colour. So I'm pretty certain that we used the red and then watered it down, the red watercolour pencil, didn't we? So you could take the red A pencil or the red B pencil, whichever you prefer. I'm going to go with the B actually because it's sharper. Yeah, the only reason is because the red one, you know, that was the one that we were using on the mix mat, wasn't it? So when I was using it on the mix mat, of course I made it blunt, so I kept right. That's what I'm using it for at the moment. So I'll use my sharper B pencil to get a little bit of depth underneath there. See, so I'm going to come in here and just add a tiny bit of depth there. There you go. And I'm kissing I'm hardly touching the paper, just a tiny little bit of depth there, just to add that bit of shade. Right? And you don't want to overcook it. And then we'll take our grey, our light grey again, and let's just make this feather standing proud of the chest feathers. So then this one, we're just going to come along here, just like we did before, like just kiss this side. There you go. And it tones it all down a little bit and in there. So you go over the red, you see, and it just tones it down a bit. There. And if you want it to be red rather than grey, then just go back in. See, I think the red's a little bit too dark for my taste, because I want to keep it light, this whole picture, which is why I'm going with the greys, toning it down a bit, see? Nice. And then in the wing feather, we can take our orange. You've got the aqua orange, the one that we used to begin with, and we can just do a flash of orange through here like that. Try and stay on the wing, grey. Try and stay on the wing. If you go off the wing, as did I, that's with glasses on. Right, see, the good thing is, dry pencil, you can rub it out. It's only the wet that you can't. Okay. So we'll just add a little flash of brightness here. There you go. On the shoulder. Now let's have a look at the eyes, because the eyes are a bit beady. Let's take one of these ones so you can see better, because I've already had a little play with some of these and added a flash. Take that really light grey. This is a little practice now, right? If you take the really light grey, and what you want to do is sort of go round and round and round, but really lightly, like this. Add a little bit of a cheek. You see here, like underneath the eye, just go round a little bit and add a little bit, just a little flash of, just a bit of depth around that edge. It just gives you can't see it unless you're right up close. Let me show you. If I come in, this is really, really tight now, but because they're so tiny, but you see how you're gonna just go round the outside of the eye, just a little bit. And I've done it with a little bit of grey. Okay, or if you prefer, you could go in with the peachy colour and just add a little tiny bit of contrast around the bottom of the eye, like that. It's like a cheek. It's like a little cheek, yeah? So it's just a little swizzle like that, lightly, lightly. The grey is the best to do this. And it just adds a bit of depth around the eye. So don't look quite so stark. You see? I just realised that. Oh, of course I haven't done his beak. Right, when you do the beak, it's easy. So that's it. Just one more. Let's do it again. Just round the back of the eye, at the base, just like that, and then round. Looks like he's got a bit of eyeshadow on now. There. Okay? So, if we do that, little cheek. I like the cheek idea. I think I might have to just indulge that. Just a little bit of a, because they do have cheek feathers. There, actually that's quite nice. Okay, let's go back to our masterpiece. Yeah? This is looking good, isn't it? How's yours looking? I can't wait to see these when they're finished. You see, because the lovely thing about the watercolour is that you can complete it quite quickly, can't you? Did you notice that as well? See, so we've got our eyes now. Quite good. Quite good. So just those little circles around the eyes. He looks like he's had a late night, that one. There we go. Yeah. Works well, doesn't it? See, so we're just toning these down so they don't look like plastic parrots. Right, so we've done that one. Right, so now we'll just keep going now. We're going to add a little bit of depth. And I'm not going to put too much down because you can always add it, can't you? So a little bit of grey. The grey's nice on the pink, you know. It's quite nice on the pink without the red, in my humble opinion. See? And then the bit behind the parrot, or the, where's my yellow? I've got so many colours going on here. Where's my yellow? There it is. So if, for example, which one am I on? I just want to add a little tiny flash of yellow just to brighten up this. Yeah, that's it. Was this the one I was working on? Yes. Right, keep the yellow to one side. And then you're going to come in here on the leaf. There. Behind the conure or the macaw or the parakeet. There we are. See? So you've got the grey there, got a little bit of shadow, I reckon, behind there. Just to keep it that. There we are. Bit behind there. Okay, starting to make them come out a bit now. And my suggestion is that you go with the light grey first and then you come in with the dark grey afterwards. And these will make it pop. And if you choose, you could use the pencils as well. You know, the lead pencils, you might feel really comfortable using those. But I like these grey pencils in that set that we added, you know. They work for me. I think they work really well with over the top of the aqua pencils, don't you think? And just get rid of that bit that went over the edge. See, the brilliant thing about the watercolour pencils that I'm figuring out here is that you can't rub them out. So that's pretty cool. So let's just add a little bit of depth up here again. So this is what we're doing now. We're just adding a little bit of vibrance, I suppose you'd call it, wouldn't you? Yeah? Bit of vibrance to the birds. Like this. That's good. Bit of vibrance to the birds. Yeah. Bit of interest around the eyes. Bit of shadow behind the birds. And you can use, you know, you can use yellows or greens, anything. You can add a little bit of flash of colour to the leaf as you're going through it, just to make the bird pop. Do you see? So this is it now. This is what we're on. That's me. Heads. Mistakes. Shading. And then highlights. So highlights, lowlights. Okay? Right, eyes. Can do the eyes as well. Right, let's give it a bit of a nice bit of a, he's quite nice. I've left a bit of a yellow halo around his eye. That looks quite good as well. See, as you go along, I mean, that's the thing. How many have we got? We've got so many different opportunities. And then suddenly you've done 8 of them and you think, that's a good idea. I think I'll do a bit more of that idea. You know, it's funny, isn't it, how you figure it out as you're going along. If you've only got one bird, then you've only get one crack at it, if you know what I mean. But when you've got so many, you can say, hang on a minute, I think I prefer to do it that way. And the good news is that you can always rub out what you've done. You can erase what you've done and go again. Or if you go too heavy, you just take it back, look. I think the point I'm trying to make here is that we don't really, there are no rules, not in my camp. There are no experts in the building and there are no rules, okay? You do what you feel is going to work to get the most out of your art. I think that is independent thinking, and I can give you a couple of tips, but you know, and to begin with, if you're comfortable copying what I do, that's great. I think that's great. You know, it's fine. But down the road, as your confidence grows, you'll figure out tricks yourself, and you'll go, oh yeah, okay. Well, I think I'm going to do this instead, or why don't I try something else? You know. So at the moment, like, I'm going over the watercolor with polychromos, with watercolor pencils, with B pencils from the, you know, because it all sits on there. Nothing glides around. It all sits beautifully. See, it's just deciding, isn't it? See, I want this one to pop out. So this is going to be quite dark down here. And the other thing is, it's like, where's the light coming from? I mean, I think that there's just a flood of light. There isn't a sun, or the light's not in this corner, so that, you know, that's another option. We could, if you wanted to, you could say, right, okay. I mean, I'm glad just to get the colour in, to be honest, right? But clearly, if the light's up here, then the drop shadow, all the shadow will be on this side. So it'll be here, here, you know? But I think the trick is to just enjoy the process. And see how these 4 are starting. Look at these 4 versus these 2. It's interesting. I find the process, the development interesting, and I can go back and I can add a little bit of depth if I choose to, but I don't want to lose the lightness of the overall picture. That's what I'm trying to avoid, you know, because it'd be so easy, wouldn't it, to go in with black and dark grey, or, you know. But what I'm trying to learn here is how to get depth without darkness. That's, I think. Well, that sounded quite profound, didn't it? I'm trying to get depth without darkness. Depth without dark. That could be depth without darkness. I've got to write that down. That could be the name of my book when I get there. Depth without darkness. I'm writing it down. There. Depth without darkness. And that's what we're trying to do here. We're trying to not make the picture too dark, but still get the layering effect, aren't we? Yeah. Because we always think that we've got to go in real dark. And I don't want to go in with all different colours either. If there was one colour that I think I might go in with, it would be that light blue. I mean, I haven't tried it, but I bet that might, I mean, it might clash as well. You know that blue that's in that set, the sky blue? See, that might work. Let me see before you go, and I'll just check, because it's got that lovely, it's got a bit of a lilac thing going, hasn't it? See, I think that might work too. Let's do the blue without the grey underneath. Let me just check something for you. See, that's quite nice too, isn't it? Let's just check it out. Maybe not, it doesn't look quite so dirty, if you know what I mean, not so grey. Yeah, that might work, you know. Because you do get your look. And if you want it to be a bit darker, you just press a little bit harder. See, that might work as well. But we're adding a different colour. See the difference? Good though, experimenting. So you might want to, if you haven't got the greys, you might want to go in with that one. I'm a grey person, aren't I? There we are. And then how are we doing? We all right? God, it's getting warm in here. See? Let's just add a little bit of shadow and make those birds. This is working well, isn't it? See? And the other thing about this is, it's such a busy picture. It's such a busy picture that you really, let's do this. Let's see if we can get this to jump. See this here? Let's see, because that's quite lost in that leaf, isn't it? See if we can get that to jump out. I'm going to take my light grey to start with, and I'm going to come in the bottom underneath there. So low light underneath. So that already definitely has made it jump a bit, hasn't it? Now what I'm thinking is, what colour have we done that? Like a browny ochre colour. Maybe I'm going to go in with a little flash of yellow, just highlights, lowlights and all that. Let's do that. Don't have to be completely, yeah, okay. So if we put a bit of, just see if it works. It's experimenting, isn't it? Right, darker colour next. Let's just go, maybe not the whole, get a real, I need a real sharp edge. That's better. Right, so we're going to get the flat. Do you remember, like, we get the flat, and then when I swizzle it, it's sharper on that side, isn't it? So then I can come in here, and I'm just going to just chip in on that line art there. Just chip in on that line art, and then we'll see if we can make it pop. It's going to be nice. I think the thing about this is it's not about finishing, is it? It's about getting lost in it. It's very relaxing. Very relaxing. There, you see? Look how that jumps now. Where I've put a bit of shadow there. All underneath, isn't it? And you haven't lost the leaf either. See, we can add a little bit of highlight on the leaf so we don't lose it. Do you get it? How you can just make that jump. And wherever you choose to put your... See, if I went in now with Payne's grey or a really dark pencil lead, you'd make it pop more, but you wouldn't maintain depth without darkness. You'd be creating darkness, you know. No, maybe when we do the what are the toucans? When we do the toucans, we can get dark and bold because they're dark and bold to begin with, aren't they? But these little fellows, they're ever so delicate, aren't they? Look, nice, hey? You like? And so you can see how it's starting to really come together, isn't it? So you're going to put the depth in underneath to make it pop in different places. And then here, for example, this looks lost, doesn't it? So what we'll do is we'll make this, that like that, that like that. So straight away that's behind. It's very basic really, isn't it? But it works, doesn't it? And we'll add a little flash of yellow in there just because the sun's hitting it. Boom. Right. What do you think? Got the eye cheeks. Maybe a little bit of orange on the eye cheeks, a bit of flash of orange. Let's just go around, let's just chill for a bit and do this, hey? Looking nice. And you can see which ones you've done and which ones you haven't done as well, can't you? Well, you should be able to. There you go. You should be able to see which ones you've done and which ones you haven't done. Yeah. You can't add blending pencils, the B pencils or the polychromos, if you still think you want to add water, because they won't take the water. Do you remember we established that, didn't we? They can't take the water. So that's something. You can't use those. What am I using here? See, I'm using an aqua. I'm using water. So if I wanted to, I'm not going to though, because I'm on the grey now. But if I wanted to, I could go back in and just dissolve all this pigment. I'm not going to though. There. Looking good. Looking good. We all relaxed? Good. Now, what have I got to tell you for the weekend? What are you up to this weekend? What are you up to this weekend? It's going to be a nice, sunny weekend here in the south of England, apparently. So I'm going to go over to my parents, spend the day with them tomorrow, I think. That's why I'm making them a shepherd's pie. Because I know my dad's struggling at the moment. So something easy to eat will be good. And then, there you go. See? Bit of shadow underneath. Low lights. Not too much though. That's the darker pencil. I should have gone in with the lighter one first. So I'll just take that back a little bit. I'll bring the lighter one in instead. There we go. Bring that down. Yes, I'm going to go see my parents for the day. I think that'll give me, yeah, that's Saturday sorted. And then, yeah, and then Sunday we're on the telly, aren't we? We're on the television. I'm on the telly 2 to 4, and then Linda Williams is taking over at 6 o'clock, which is going to be a real treat. So that's that sorted. And that'll be Sunday done. And then Monday we're going to hang out, and I've got to prepare that. I'm really looking forward to Monday. Be good. We're going to be using quite a few of our. Thing is, this week we've used watercolor pencils and color, but then next week it will be back to a pencil. You know, that's what we do, isn't it? 1 week color, next week doodle. So next week all you need is a pencil, and off we go again. And I've got a really great idea in my head. I just want to see if it works. Got to transfer it now to paper. Be fine. It'll be fine. Today's the last day of the sale. So Stuart, if I know Stuart's with us today, and he'll be able to direct you. If you're a club member, you can take advantage of our sale. And if you want to know about the clubs, Stuart can help you there too. Got some brilliant clubs. We've been going for many, many, many years. And and there's a digi download for the Groovy. There's a free, wonderful project, and that's going to be available at 12 o'clock. Stuart can tell you all about that as well if you're into your Groovy they're so good. Thanks to Hazel, they're so good, and they're great for learning, you know. And I look forward to seeing all your artwork on our Share and Tell on Facebook, on Clarity Worldwide. I love seeing your artwork. Gives me great joy. Gives me great joy, it does. It's like, wow, look at that. Isn't that brilliant what they're doing? You know? And I see the hours, you see, because of course I'm doing it with you in real time, aren't I? So I see the hours and I think, yeah, I'm not the only one who gets immersed in the process. See, that come out nicely. I like that one. Light grey first. This is lovely artwork. Mel drew this. Our Mel. Isn't it lovely, really? It's a beautiful, beautiful picture, really, isn't it? Do you know what? This would look so nice. Let me just go and grab a frame. I wonder if I don't know if we've even got any left now, but would this look lovely? Let me see if I grab, let me grab a frame. I bet it would look really cool. I don't know if, I think black? Doesn't that look good? Cool. See, that is a nice piece of artwork with the black frame, because it's so gentle. That works really well. Mind you, I like cream as well. That's nice. I bet that taupe would look good. Where's the taupe? Right, I'm just running around the building now. Let me see if I can find the taupe one. I've got loads of different colours, but... Ah, yeah, here it is. Taupe, white. I like that one as well. I like the taupe one. Oh yeah, that's nice. That's lovely. Doesn't that make that come out nicely? That's a little bit light. Well, although it looks all right, but look, you can see immediately where I've missed a bit. I think that's my fave. I like that. And I don't know what I've done with the black now, but yeah, very nice. I think the lesson we've learnt loads this week, haven't we? I mean, primarily, I guess the main lesson was that transition from pencils to brushes. I think that's been the big one this week, hasn't it? For a lot of us, it was for me, and I've actually, this was a good project to get used to brushes on, because you've got so many opportunities, you know. But I tell you what, I bet you, if you're using, well, you will be using pencils now. Isn't it funny how when you go from a brush to a pencil, do you feel now how much control you've got of the pencil? Do you feel the control that you've got of the pencil compared to the brush? You know, it's interesting, isn't it? I guess that's because we write with pencils and pens, don't we, and nibs. We don't write with paintbrushes. And I suppose, you know, you don't do shopping list with a number 6 sable hair, do you? Well, do you know what? Maybe we ought to, and then we'd get really good at it. Probably wouldn't be able to read it in the supermarket. But yeah, it's been a really good process, this one. See, and then you come in there like that. And then you get in really tight on the edge. Is that the dark one again? Just nice. I think I might spend an hour doing this, you know, just to calm that old head down, that washing machine head. You know what I mean when I say washing machine head, don't you? I can't be the only one. There. See how it jumps? I love it. So. There. And you can go right through the sky as well. Look, I'm just don't make it too dark, really. But once you're using that chisel, that flat, and you're using the light, look, see? It tones down all that brightness, doesn't it? And now I'm going to do this one to finish on, this bit here, I think, because it's really starting to come together. These little branches here are really making it jump now. So I think that this bit here is going to lift all the branches up out of the leaves. So we'll go the light grey first, and I'm going to come along this bottom underneath this one, light feathery strokes, and then along here as well. So we'll just lift this little branch out. Right, there we go. Nice. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this week. I sure have. It's been a good one. Isn't it? Cool, yeah, look at that. And highlights, lowlights. I might add a little flash of yellow just through there, just to lift it a bit. There you go. And then I'm going to go in with my dark one. But I'm going to risk it for a biscuit. Let me just sharpen that darker one. Well, it's not dark, it's only the 3. That's it. Just to get that. So the thing with these polychromos, it's all about layers, isn't it? If you press too hard, you create a seal, and that's no good. Now that's nice. Light one first. In we go. So, I look forward to seeing your finished masterpieces, eh? They look good. And if you think you've overcooked it, it's brilliant. Just get a rubber, get the old eraser, just take it back again. Look, it doesn't, if you think you've gone a bit too heavy on the shadow, just take it out again. No problem at all. Right, there we go. All good. See? It looks like you could put your fingers in underneath it. And then once you do the birds and you work your way, see, these ones are all done, these ones aren't. So it's funny how these look more 3D and these ones look as flat as pancakes. So once you do the lot and you push the leaves to the back and you bring the birds to the front, and just with a couple of pencils, you will have cleared your head and you will have accomplished something very cool. I think you will have accomplished something very cool indeed. So so I think we'll call it a day today. And I hope stay in the shade. It's going to be a really hot one. So we want to keep safe, keep hydrated, drink lots of water, find a lovely shady spot, and just get your pencils out. Don't worry about going out in the heat. Hey, don't worry about going out in that. I think a lovely shady spot, a cool drink, and some colouring in is the order of the day today. What do you think? Lots of love to you. Have a great weekend. Stuart, thank you very much for your help. If you're interested in signing up for the newsletter or you want to join the club, grab Stuart before he leaves the room. And I shall see you on Monday at 10 o'clock, same place. I'll get here extra early to make sure that that Facebook haven't twiddled with the knobs again. And yeah, have a great weekend and I'll see you then. Lots of love. God bless. Be safe. Bye-bye now.